Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I hope you all are fine and doing your homeworks, also listening to your lectures. Yesterday, you were given a few words for homework and to make sentences for them, synonyms for each of the word, and a sentence for each of the word. I will underline the words during the lecture and also will show you the list of the underlined words at the end of the lecture. Again, you will have to do the same thing, same assignment for the homework. Today also, you will have to find synonyms of the words and make sentence for each of the word. Now, coming towards our today's lesson, let's give a let's give you people a review of your previous lecture. In the previous two lectures, we have read that how Robinson Crusoe was living a normal life, and one day suddenly a few of his friends came to ask him to join them on a voyage. As they had heard that he was a good sailor, and unfortunately, he also agreed to come. During the voyage, a huge storm separated them all from each other, and Crusoe, after struggling so much through water, got himself to a desert island. He was all alone there, and once he tried to get a few things from the ship. The ship was completely wrecked after the storm and was a mile away from him, but he somehow managed to get to it, and another wave broke his raft into two pieces. Raft at which he was trying to put the things from the ship and want to move the things wherever he wanted. But after the raft was broken, he also managed to pull both pieces to a safe place. So, see what will happen next to him. Will he survive or not? If yes, then how? We have read this. Our chapter number 1 was completed, and now we are starting our chapter number 2, which is I Make a House. My next work was to explore the country and look for a suitable place in which to live. I also needed somewhere to store all the things I had brought from the ship. I did not yet know where I was, whether on or whether on the mainland or on an island, whether it was inhabited or uninhabited, whether I was in danger from wild animals or not. I looked around. About a mile away from me was a line of hills. One was higher than all the rest. I took out one of the shotguns and one of the pistols and a powder horn. With these to defend myself, I walked to the hill and climbed with great difficulty to the top. Looking down, I could see that I was completely surrounded by the sea. There was no other land except some rocks and two islands smaller than this. About 9 miles away to the west, there was no sign of human life, of farms or houses. There were just trees, plants, and wild animals. I came back to my raft and set to work bringing my cargo on shore. This took me the rest of the day. I did not know what to do with myself at night. I was afraid to lie down on the ground in case wild beasts attacked me, though there was really no need for me to have been frightened. However, I piled up the chests and boards that I had brought ashore and made a kind of hut which I could sleep in. I still did not know how I was going to supply myself with food. The next morning, looking out to sea again, I began to think that I might still get a great many things out of the ship. Some of the ropes and sails would be very useful. I decided to go back again if possible. I knew that the next storm would break it up, so I left everything and made my way to the ship. I wondered whether to take the raft with me, but decided it was too difficult. I got on board the ship as before and made a second raft. After my troubles with the first one, I made the second less difficult to control and did not put so much on it. In the carpenter's stores, I found 2 or 3 bags of nails, a dozen axes, and a stone for sharpening knives, which was a most useful find. I took some iron bars that were lying on the floor there. I found some more weapons and ammunition. I took 7 muskets and another light shotgun, 2 barrels of musket bullets, and a large bag full of small shot. Besides these things, I took all the men's clothing that I could find, some sails, and a hammock to sleep in. I loaded my second raft and brought everything safely to shore. The weather changes. Having got my second cargo on shore, on I set to work to make a little tent. I set to work to make a little tent with the sails. Into this I brought everything that might be spoilt by the rain or the sun. I piled up all the empty chests and barrels into a circle round the tent. In case of a sudden attack from men or wild animals. When I had done this, I blocked the door of my tent with an empty chest on the outside and with some boards on the inside. Then, after spreading some cords on the ground, laying my 2 pistols at my head and my gun by my side, I went to bed for the first time. I slept very well all night. I now had many stores, but I was still not satisfied. While the ship was there, I thought I ought to get everything out of it that I could. So, every day at low tide, I went on the board and brought away something. On my third visit, I brought away rope and some pieces of canvas. I also brought another barrel of wet gunpowder. I had now been on the shore for 13 days and had been to the ship 11 times. In this time, I had brought away everything that one pair of hands was able to bring, though I believe that if the weather had not changed, I would have brought away the whole ship piece by piece. But when I was preparing to go on board for the 12th time, I found the wind beginning to blow more strongly. However, when the tide was out, I went on board again. Although I thought I had searched the captain's cabin very carefully, I still found more things. In one drawer, I found two razors and one large pair of scissors with about a dozen good knives and forks. Another drawer was full of silver coins. All together, they weighed about 36 pounds. I smiled to myself at the sight of all this money. For what use was it to me? But I took it away and put it in a piece of canvas. I began to think of making another raft. But while I was doing this, I saw clouds spreading across the sky. In a quarter of an hour, a strong wind began blowing from the shore, and I realized it was useless to make a raft with the wind blowing against me. I would never get it to land. I must leave the ship before the tide was any higher, or I might be trapped. So I climbed down the ship's side into the water. It was quite difficult to get back to the shore, partially because of the weight of the things I was carrying, and partially because the water was becoming so rough. The wind rose fast, and before high tide there was a storm. But I had got home to my tent, where I lay safely with all my things around me. It blew very hard all night. In the morning, when I looked out, the ship had disappeared. My fort. I was worried about the natives who lived on the mainland and islands in that part of the world. I thought they might come to my island in their small boats to attack me and steal my things. If they were cannibals, they would probably want to eat me as well as my stores. I had to think about how I could make myself safe against them. If they should appear, I also needed to make myself safe from wild animals if there were any on the island. I thought for many hours about how to do this and what kind of place to make for living in. Should I look for a cave or make a tent with a strong wall around it? In the end, I decided to have both. There were four important facts to consider before I started to build anything. First, I needed a supply of fresh water. Second, I must have shelter from the sun. Third, I must be safe from attack, whether by men or wild animals. Fourth, I must have a view of the sea so that if God sent any ship close to the island, I might not lose the chance of being rescued. I was not yet willing to give up all hope that a ship would pass by. While searching for a place that had all these things, I found a small piece of flat land on the side of a hill. On one side of this flat land, the hill rose straight up like a wall. No one would be able to attack me from that side, and it would be very difficult for anyone to climb down from above. Also, there was a hollow place in the rock there, like a small cave. Seems like Crusoe had found his home. I decided to set up my tent in front of this hollow in the rock. The flat space nearby was more than 100 yards wide and about twice as long, and from there the land went down to the low ground by the sea. Before I set up my tent, I drew a half circle in front of the hollow in the rock. Here is the hollow in the rock, and this was the circle he drew, about 10 yards in radius. In this half circle, I set up 2 rows of strong wooden posts, driving them deep into the ground. The bigger posts driving them deep into the ground, the bigger end of each post was about 5.5 feet above the ground and was sharpened to a point. The 2 rows were 6 inches apart. Then I took some long pieces of metal which I had brought from the ship and laid them one above the other between these 2 rows of posts. Besides these, I placed more posts on the inside, leaning against them. This fence was so strong that neither man nor animal could get into it or over it. It took me a long time to make it. It was very hard work, especially cutting down trees to make into posts and driving the posts into the ground. I did not make a gate as an entrance to this place. Instead, I made a short ladder to go over the top. When I was inside, I lifted this ladder up after me. Then at last I felt quite safe when I slept at night. I brought into this fort all my food, stores, and ammunition. Then I made a large tent. After that, I made a small tent inside the large one, so that I would have more protection from the rain. I covered the large tent with some strong canvas from the ship's sails. When I had done all that, I began to dig into the side of the hill where the hollow place was. As I dug, I carried all the earth and stones out and spread them on the ground inside my fence, raising the level by about 1.5 feet. In this way, I made a cave just behind my tent. Kindly note these words. These are the words for your homework. For your today's homework, you need to write synonym for each of the word and make one sentence for each of the word. As we have done with our chapter number 1 and 2 of the novel, you also need to complete the exercise of the chapter 1 and 2 given at page number 85 of the novel. When the sentences you are doing, you simply have to mention the lesson number as written below your video. As your video is playing below, you are seeing the lesson number below your video. After my name, lesson number is given. Today's lesson is 3. So what you have to do, you just have to write lesson number here and do your homework simply down there. You don't need to mention homework or classwork. You have to mention lesson number and date. Kindly note these words down. And do your assignments as per stated. In every lecture, lesson numbers are mentioned below the video. Just write the lesson number at top of the page and start doing your assignment. Simply write a word here, write its synonym here and make sentence in the line under them. Meet you in the next meeting. Take care of yourselves and do your assignments completely so that you will not be burdened at the end of the session. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.